Welcome back, everyone. Let's kick off our 2026 World Cup Contenders series. We are breaking down the heavyweights, the squads with a real shot at lifting the trophy this summer at the biggest tournament on earth. First up is Germany, Die Mannschaft, a four-time world champion and a footballing powerhouse that has struck fear into opponents across the globe for decades. But behind all that historic glory hides a dark, painful slump. After ruling the world in Brazil back in 2014, the Germans crashed out in the group stages of both the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. Following years of absolute crisis, Germany is finally bouncing back. They have a hungry new generation led by Julian Nagelsmann. So here is the big question. Will 2026 be the year this once unstoppable footballing giant reclaims its throne? Heading into the 2026 tournament, the German national squad still carries the weight of being one of history's most successful teams. They have lifted the trophy 4 times in 1954, 1974, 1990, and 2014. They have played in 21 World Cup finals. Right now, Germany sits at 8th overall in the latest FIFA World Rankings. Those back-to-back early exits in 2018 and 2022 sent massive shockwaves through the entire nation. Bad tactics, a lack of fight, and broken team spirit forced the German Football Association to completely tear down and rebuild. The man hired to fix it all? Julian Nagelsmann, a brilliant young tactician widely viewed as one of Europe's top managers today. Before we break down exactly what makes Die Mannschaft dangerous, let's scan the 26-man roster Julian Nagelsmann called up for the 2026 World Cup. In goal, Manuel Neuer and Oliver Baumann, Alexander Nubel. In defense, Joshua Kimmich, Jonathan Tah, Antonio Rudiger, Nico Schlotterbeck, David Raum, Waldemar Anton, Nathaniel Braun, Melik Sjaaf. If you want to know who carries Germany's hopes of winning the World Cup, 4 heavy hitters stand out: Jamal Musiala, Florian Wirtz, Joshua Kimmich, and Manuel Neuer. Musiala leads the pack. Dialed in, the Bayern Munich star is easily Julian Nagelsmann's deadliest weapon. His incredible dribbling and crazy ball control in the tightest spaces, plus those sudden flashes of pure magic, make him the squad's biggest threat. He shined brightest for Germany back at Euro 2024 and represents the face of this new era. Even after taking a harsh knock colliding with Gianluigi Donnarumma during the Club World Cup against Paris Saint-Germain, Musiala is fully expected to bounce back and find his rhythm before the tournament kicks off. If he stays healthy, this number 10 can single-handedly flip the script on an entire World Cup run. Right beside him is Florian Wirtz. He is easily one of the most exciting talents to watch on this German roster heading into 2026. Wirtz has unreal tactical vision and elite creativity. He naturally spots open passing lanes that nobody else sees. While Wirtz serves as the creative brain running Die Mannschaft's attack, Joshua Kimmich brings a totally different edge to the squad. The German captain is a fierce leader, both tactically and mentally. He carries the scars of 2018 and 2022. Because of that, he fully grasps the heavy burden of wearing the national jersey. Kimmich has been a massive piece in fixing the locker room culture since Nagelsmann took over. Finally, Manuel Neuer. At 40 years old, the legendary keeper shocked everyone by coming out of international retirement to join the squad again. He might not have that prime superhuman athleticism from 10 years ago, but Neuer still has something incredibly rare in today's game: massive big game experience, ice-cold nerves under pressure, and the aura of a true world champion. Alongside the proven veterans, the German squad is packing a fearless group of rising stars for the 2026 World Cup. The standout is Lenas Kan, the 18-year-old Bayern Munich wonderkid. Last season, Kan made massive waves by shattering age records across both the Bundesliga and the Champions League. His tight dribbling, lightning-fast cuts, and low center of gravity actually remind a lot of people of a young Lionel Messi. Though Nagelsmann will likely ease him in slowly, Kan is still hyped as Germany's most explosive young talent at this tournament. Meanwhile, Alexander Pavlovich is exactly the kind of modern midfielder European football craves. The Bayern anchor plays with brilliant tactical awareness, dictating the rhythm of the match with an unbelievable level of calm for his age. Analysts predict Pavlovic will lock down the national team midfield for years. Up front, Nick Woltemade brings a completely different kind of threat. Standing tall with a massive frame and an aggressive style, the Newcastle striker offers the perfect physical solution for grueling matches that demand brute strength inside the box. Keep an eye on Nathaniel Braun. The young defender, rising through the ranks at Eintracht Frankfurt, is stepping up as a serious challenger to David Raum on that left flank. Braun's rapid rise gives the German national squad crucial depth. You need that for a brutal, exhausting run at a World Cup. When Julian Nagelsmann took over the German squad in 2023, he inherited a massive headache. His job? Wake up a fallen giant. Years of heartbreak, a lost identity, and bombing out early in major tournaments. But in no time at all, the coach born in 1987 flipped the script. the shift is real. First thing Nagelsmann changed? The vibe in the dressing room. Completely different energy. No more relying on a few star players. He demanded total teamwork and shared accountability. Every starting spot had to be earned. If you get the call up to the national squad, you better prove you belong there. You hear it in what Captain Joshua Kimmich said right before the 2026 World Cup. He admitted that finally, there is a real team in that locker room. That one little sentence says it all. It separates today's German squad from the broken, fractured teams of their recent crisis years. Make no mistake, Nagelsmann is still an absolute tactical genius on the pitch. He built an intense, fluid style that perfectly fits this new generation of footballers. But honestly, the biggest thing he brought to the table was belief. He fixed their mentality. After years of looking disjointed on the pitch, Die Mannschaft finally moves as one machine again. The winning culture came back to life. That pure hunger returned, and the sheer pride of putting on that German jersey felt heavier, more real. Under Julian Nagelsmann, the Germans usually roll out a 4-2-3-1. It is a setup perfectly built to unleash their creative attackers. This approach fits today's squad flawlessly, giving their most dynamic talents the freedom to dribble, move, and invent. The team's entire philosophy relies on three core ideas: total control, suffocating high pressure, and blistering speed on the break. When they have the ball, the Germans dictate the tempo, passing relentlessly to stretch and rip opposing defenses wide open. The second they lose it, they swarm, a fierce press to win it right back. Their biggest weapon is letting Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz roam completely free. Those two constantly swap spots, popping up out of nowhere to cause absolute chaos. Just behind them, Joshua Kimmich dictates the entire rhythm. He glues the lines together and keeps them balanced. Add in the veteran presence of Manuel Neuer, Antonio Rudiger, Jonathan Tah, and Kimmich, and you have massive defensive stability. These guys have spent years surviving the absolute highest levels of world football. Still, a few doubts hang over this German side. They lack a true world-class number 9, meaning they often waste a ton of the brilliant chances they create. Kai Havertz will probably keep starting up front as the striker, even if it is not his natural position. Plus, a few spots on the pitch are still up for grabs. Nothing is locked. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar was a total nightmare for German football. For the second straight time, the national team crashed out in the group stage. For a footballing giant with 4 World Cup stars on their chest, that was completely unacceptable. It was a glaring sign they needed to tear it down and rebuild. The real turning point? Julian Nagelsmann stepping in as head coach in 2023. Hope sparked at Euro 2024. Playing on home turf, the Germans looked sharper and infinitely more dangerous than they had in years. The run ended in the quarterfinals against Spain, a brutal loss to the eventual champions. They didn't win it, but that summer gave them something huge: the belief that German football was finally back on track. Their road to the 2026 World Cup proves it. Germany breezed through qualifiers with 5 wins in 6 games. They look lethal in recent friendlies too, especially that 4-0 thrashing of Finland earlier this morning. For the 2026 World Cup, Germany sits in Group E alongside Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. On paper, this is a pretty comfortable draw for Julian Nagelsmann's squad. Curacao is the underdog here, but they are an incredible story. They just became the smallest nation to ever reach a World Cup stage. Ivory Coast brings a much tougher test. They rely on pure physical dominance and a relentless, high-speed attack. Meanwhile, Ecuador plays with brutal discipline. The South Americans turned heads during qualifiers, boasting one of the toughest defensive lines in their entire region. Still, when you look at Germany's raw talent, their deep bench, and sheer big-game experience, Germany is the heavy favorite to win Group E. Their bare minimum goal is escaping the group hurdle. Die Mannschaft hasn't cleared since winning it all in Brazil back in 2014. But beyond that, the Germans want to prove the dark days are dead and buried. Right now, international pundits actually rank this squad as one of the top favorites to win the whole tournament, sitting behind giants like Spain, France, Portugal, England, and Argentina. Still, most odds have Julian Nagelsmann's squad pushing much deeper than they did in the last 2 World Cups. Several predictive models also give DMAP's roster a very real shot at the semifinals. The numbers even give Germany over a 20% chance of crashing the top 4. And if they survive the knockout bracket, a trip to the final isn't off the table either. Sure, they might not be the outright favorites to lift the gold trophy, but trust me, nobody wants to draw them once the knockout stage kicks off. After all, the German national team rolls into the 2026 World Cup in a completely different headspace compared to their recent years of crisis. This isn't the same lost squad that completely fell apart in Russia or Qatar. Instead, they are younger, hungrier, and most importantly, they have finally rediscovered that winning identity that made them legends. So, can Germany finally stitch that elusive 5th star onto their jersey? Or does this total rebuild still need a little more time to bake? We will find out in the coming weeks over in North America. Thanks for tuning into episode 1 of our 2026 World Cup Contenders series. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to stick around for the next episodes as we break down the rest of the heavyweights chasing football glory. Catch you later.